We live in a world where there's uh, there's all kinds of voices. In fact, I'm a Jesuian, and it talks a lot about in the Bible. It says, we battle not against flesh and blood, but spirits in high places, and that's a loaded statement. Spirits in high places, and angelic beings, and sometimes there's a battle, and there's all kinds of things that we may or may not understand. And sometimes I think we confuse, if we feel something, or if we have to understand it, or we have to know how it works for it to participate. And I think there's a lot of arrogance in that statement. If you think of, I have to feel it before it to be true. Like right now, I'm sitting here by this little river. I've kind of decided to kind of take a little evening meditation, and really just to kind of focus on my own spiritual journey, and I'm kind of sharing it with you. And we all have a different practice. My yoga practice is different than your yoga practice. My spiritual practices are probably different than yours. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's about the practice, and it's not about perfection. Like right now, there's a truck sound in the background, and you're going, I probably wish I wish that truck wasn't there. I wish there wasn't road noise. But if we wait for everything to be perfect, and then we're never going to do anything. And that's why I really lean on the words. It says, practice not perfection. In fact, if anything, we can incorporate the imperfections, and we really start to understand that sometimes the imperfections are really perfect. And this little place right here, here I am in the Bay Area, and there's all kinds of perfect places around the Bay Area. It's just such a beautiful place, and I could show you. I could be filming in a yacht, where there's yachts and there's $1 million, just in a harbor. Or I could show you the Bay Bridge. But this is just as beautiful if you really think about it. Because my practice really just involves being around nature, and focusing on connecting. Oh, look at that! We got a siren. There's a part of me that wants to shut this video off, and you go, fuck it. Let me make it more perfect, but let me just incorporate that imperfection, and I guess call the siren to John 15, because that's what I do when it says, these are some promises, and again, whether we feel them or not, whether we 100% believe them or not, we're not really asked to believe. If you notice, when it talks about abiding in John 15, it doesn't say feel it. It just says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. And it talks about branches. I really think it's interesting when you look at John 15, it says, if a person does not dwell in me, then he's thrown out and he withers. But he says, if you live in me, and my words remain in you, and continue to live in your hearts, ask whatever you will, and it shall be done for you. Verse 5 says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever lives in me, and me and him bears much fruit, and this is apart from me. So what Jesus is doing in John 15 is he's saying, hey, there's the branches, and then there's the roots, and there's the tree, and he's using nature metaphor to say, we have to be rooted in something. And for me, part of my practice is really just to really go back to the words of Jesus or the Psalms, and whether I feel them or not, just to really, like for example, let me show you this example. It says, this is John 15:26, it says, Jesus is the comforter, he's the helper, the advocate, the intercessor, the strengthener, standby. And the thing is whether you feel that or not, or whether I feel that or not. Notice it doesn't say, if Jonathan feels that he's comforted, then he's comforted. It says that it just simply, it's a declaration of, God, you are my comforter, you are my helper, you are my advocate. And Lord, I'm going to let your words remain in me. And Lord, your word says that whatever I ask, it shall be done. If I'm presenting all that you are. And Lord, your one command is that we love one another. And Lord, help me to be more loving. It says, Lord, and then verse 4 says, dwell in me. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking the words and I'm just praying those over my life. It says, I will not talk to you about the evil genius. What's interesting? It says he has no power over me. And just learning to get in the habit of reading the words, and you can even just find a psalm that you like. Maybe, for example, Psalms 37, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires and secret petitions of your heart. It says trust in the Lord and do good. I've talked before in other videos that Psalms 37, the first 4 verses just says fret not. So whatever your practice is, whether it involves yoga or meditation, it doesn't have to match mine. It doesn't have to involve nature. It doesn't have to be nature-centric. That's my practice. And it doesn't even have to involve the Psalms. But, one thing I like to do, and part of my practice, is to go back to John 15 and to really just say, these Psalms, the words, they have to abide in my heart. Like, for example, today, no matter what you're going through, I would say fret not. And then you say, well, that's easy for you to say. You're by a river. I'm like, well, you don't know my situation. But I do know John 15, and it says that we have to let his words abide in us. And, something's going to abide in our hearts, worry, anxieties, sirens. Or we can just say, let Psalms 37, verse 3, it says, trust in the Lord and do good. And then it says, surely we shall be fed, and we'll feed on his faithfulness. And think about that, feeding on his faithfulness. And it says, truly you shall be fed. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires, the secret petitions of your heart. And I don't know where you're at, but I can guarantee you that there's all kinds of voices and angelic beings that are going to war against the message of letting the Psalms of the Bible rest in your soul. And part of the discipline, and yes, I said the D word, because sometimes when you think of spirituality, it's easy for me to think of, beauty and fun. And yet there's a lot of things that are beautiful and fun about the spiritual journey, but there's also the word discipline. And we have to be disciplined, or I recommend that you be disciplined to really take John 15 seriously. And it says, fret not yourself because of evildoers, and just letting the words rest in our lives. And go back to why are we doing that? It says, because 7 says, if we live in God and our words remain in us, if his words remain in us and they continue to live, notice it says continue, that we can ask whatever he will and he'll answer us if we present all that he is. Think about that, presenting all that I am, that he may give it to you. You may even want to get real technical and start praying the original names of God, like, God, whatever you are, Jehovah, El Shaddai. The point is, we're going to be rooted in something. And the key, I think, is to be rooted in something that's strong and something that's mighty and proven. And my name is Jonathan, and I'm a mere man, but I can assure you that the words of God have lasted for millennia before me, and they will last millennia after me. And at some point, we're going to